Hey everybody, welcome back to the Foust Life. I am Heather Foust, and first of all, I just want to say that if you hear a lawnmower, it's because I'm outside recording this. My little one is taking a nap right now, and I thought it's a nice day. Might as well get outside, take advantage of it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I did a poll the other day on Instagram and Facebook, asking which topic I should do my next video about, and they came back about even. So I'm going to do a video about both topics. And the first video that I'm going to do, which is right now, the topic is which job is harder, being a stay-at-home mom or being a full-time working mom outside of the home. And first of all, let me just say that these are my opinions. This is, what I've gone through, my feelings. If I offend you or if you think I'm completely wrong, I'm sorry. But like I said, this is just my opinion and how I feel about it. And, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know how you feel about it. But let me just give you some background information. I've only been a stay-at-home mom for 17 months now. My husband and I's oldest daughter is almost 21. She'll be 21 in August. And then we have a 17-month-old. So prior to having our youngest, I worked outside of the house. So I was a full-time employee, working outside of the house and raising a child until she graduated. But anyway, so most of my experience comes in being an outside of the home working mom. So I think I kind of have an interesting perspective on it, considering I've only been doing this for 17 months and I only have one child that I'm essentially taking care of all day long. So I'm sure if I had a couple kids that were younger or whatever, maybe my perspective would be different. I'm not really sure. But I worked outside of the home in a law firm, and the most recent law firm that I worked for, I worked there for almost 17 years. And the attorney that I worked for was super well known, super busy. We did criminal law, family law, and traffic. So I had a very fast-paced, high stress job that I did every day. And it was hard work. It was super hard, but I loved my job. I made great money. You know, why I don't work there anymore is a whole nother video. And we'll get into that later at some other point. But so when I found out I was pregnant, at that point I already knew I was losing my job, and I had already set a date for the beginning of June 2017 was going to be essentially my last day working there. Well, I found out in May of 2017, right around Mother's Day, that I was pregnant. So it was kind of, my husband and I sat down and we talked about it, and, to us, we were in a position at that point where financially I could not go back to work and we would be doing just fine. And it kind of made sense, to not have to look for another job and then have to turn around and say, well, I'm pregnant, so I'm going to need some time off in 9 months. And then we would have to figure out what we're going to do as far as who was going to watch our child while we were both at work. So, like I said, we talked about it, and for us financially, we were able to make it work, that I didn't have to go back to work. So, that's how I became a stay-at-home mom. Now, being a stay-at-home mom is not what I thought it was. And I'll be the first person to admit that when I was a full-time working mom, I really was thinking something way different about stay-at-home moms and than what I think now. And to be honest with you, I think I didn't appreciate truly what a stay-at-home mom goes through until I have gone through it myself. Um, I was kind of one of those moms that worked and thought, how could your house be dirty? You're at home all day. How could you be that far behind in your laundry? You're at home all day. And I apologize for ever thinking that because I totally get it. I totally understand. Um, and I know a lot of women who work outside of their home, they don't have a choice. They have to. And I get it. Trust me. With our first daughter, we didn't have a choice. I had to work. My husband had to work. And that's just how it was. So I have, I get it. I'm very fortunate and I'm blessed and I appreciate that every single day. It doesn't make the job any easier though. Um, I know I've seen some other YouTube videos about this. I have read some of the comments and I have seen, women state that because they work outside of the home, their job is much tougher. They work until 5 o'clock, then they have to come home and they have to cook dinner and do laundry and they get very little time to interact with their kids because then they have bath time and then they have bedtime and yada yada. And I get it. I've been there. I've done that. I worked full time. I took off time from work to be that mom, helping in the classroom and eating lunch at school with my daughter. And I volunteered in the classroom as much as I could. Then I would go back to work and I would come home and I would cook dinner and I would do laundry and I would do bath time and I would do bedtime and I would read books. And, I've been there. You feel like your day never ends. And then when it finally ends, you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and start all over again. And I understand how that feels. On top of all of that, I did coach soccer for a very long time. And the last 4 years that I coached at the high school level. So I would leave work, my regular full-time job, go to the school, coach a high school team, and on days when we just had training, I would get home at 6:30 or so, and then I would still have everything to do. On game nights, when high school games don't start until 7 o'clock at night, I'm not getting home until 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and that's if the game was at home. If it was away, it was later than that. And then I still had everything else to do, so I get it. But one good thing that I realized about since I started being a stay-at-home mom was all of those things that I did prior, working outside of the home and coaching and this and that. When that was over for the day, it was over. Being a stay-at-home mom, I don't ever feel like my day is over. I get woke up in the middle of the night. I get woke up out of my sleep. I don't get to go to the bathroom right now by myself. When you're at work, I don't think you have anybody standing in the bathroom with you waiting for you to get done. I do. I don't I don't take a shower without my daughter in the bathroom. And so my showers are literally 6 or 7 minutes long if I'm lucky because she's trying to get into the medicine cabinet or, get into the toilet paper or whatever. And obviously I choose to do that. I could take a shower at night when my husband is home. But I'm kind of one of those morning people and I don't feel like my day can get started until I've taken a shower. So I put that on myself. I realize that. But unless it's the weekend and my husband's off of work, I don't get to take a shower by myself. There's some little person in there waiting for me to get done. When you're at work, you don't have that stress. And I think the biggest thing is when you are a stay-at-home mom, you are solely responsible for another person's life all day long. You're responsible for their health, their well-being, um, making sure that they're safe, um, feeding them, clothing them, teaching them, singing to them, getting them to sleep. One of the biggest challenges for me is that I chose to breastfeed this pregnancy. With my first child, I did not. That in and of itself was very hard for me. And that's probably another topic for another video. But that was another added stress in being a stay-at-home mom, for me anyways. Our daughter wouldn't take a bottle. So it was me all of the time. I've been the only one to feed her, essentially her milk, since she was born. So, when you factor in, and another thing, my daughter's not a sleeper. I'm very fortunate right now she's taking a nap so I can do this video, but she's never been a sleeper. My husband and I used to laugh when she was, 2 and 3 months old, going, well, how long is this nap going to last? 8 minutes? And no lie, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes. She's never been a big, huge napper. Even now, she needs me right next to her, and then she'll fall asleep. And sometimes it's for an hour. Sometimes it might be a little bit longer. But I don't have a lot of free time, where I know a lot of stay-at-home moms or a lot of working moms look at stay-at-home moms and go, well, you have all this free time. I don't have all this free time. The time when she is napping, I switch my laundry over. I do the dishes. I'm getting stuff ready for our dinner, for that night. I don't ever just sit around and do nothing. So I think there's a misconception in that a lot of stay-at-home moms just sit around and do nothing all day. That's not the case. I'm one of those OCD people. My house has to be cleaned. She's getting out all of these toys, and we play, and I'm wanting to put it back right away because I don't like things just sitting around. I'm one of those people that when somebody comes over, I feel overwhelmed almost because you're making my house dirty by carrying in that stuff on the bottom of your shoes. And then I feel like I have to sweep as soon as you leave because my little 17-month-old is going to see that leaf on the floor and she's going to pick it up and put it in her mouth. So I'm always doing stuff. I'm not just one of those people that's sitting around doing nothing. So, if you're reading between the lines and everything that I've just said over the last 12 minutes, you'll realize that I personally, for myself, feel like being a stay-at-home mom so far has been a lot harder than what it ever was working outside of the home and all of the other things that I juggled when I was a working mom. You know, maybe in a year from now, when our schedules are kind of a little more set and things are a little more predictable, maybe my mind will change. I don't know. But I, at this point, feel like being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest job that I have ever had. So, you know, shoot me some comments. Let me know what you've gone through. Tell me what your opinions are. Obviously not everyone's going to agree with me, and I'm okay with that. Um, you know, but I would like to hear what some of you other ladies have gone through and what your opinions are. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's just because my daughter still isn't, just when you think she's getting on a schedule, then she changes that and she decides, no, I'm not taking a nap at 1 o'clock. And she waits until 4 o'clock to take a nap. And, maybe because we thought we had things figured out, and then she decides, well, I'm older now. I'm not going to do it that way. So it's constantly changing all of the time when I think a schedule is set and then it's not. So, like I said, shoot me some comments. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at The Foust Life. And I have more stuff coming. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon.